Hello and welcome to another video. In today's video we're going to be giving a bit of an update on our larger workshop tools and our machine tools. Now over the past few weeks we've been trying to get a bit more organised here in the workshop, so we have more space and we can use our machine tools and larger workshop tools. Now we've got them laid out at the other end of the workshop how we think we'd like them, and we're going to show you the layout and some new tools we've acquired and some tools that we've had for a while that you may not have seen before. Right, so first up we have our Colchester Master Lathe, which was built here in ye olde England in the 1950s. Now Dad bought this in 2013 along with another machine tool which we'll get onto in a second. We have a number of bits of tooling for it. We have multiple 3 and 4 jaw chucks for it. We've got face plates, etc. Now this is the only tool that we didn't have to move for our sort out. So what we did was we just kind of got rid of all of the stuff that was underneath it, which there was just a bunch of metal. When Dad bought this in 2013, the coolant pump wasn't actually working. And still to this day it isn't working yet, but we're going to be fixing that quite soon, I'd imagine. And now moving on to the other machine tool that was bought in 2013 is this, the Cincinnati Toolmaster Mill, which we've used this for many jobs, and for a so you can understand the size of it. In these work boots, I'm probably about 5'7", and my head is about the same height as the top of this. We've got any number of mill vices for it, which is always very useful, and it uses int 40 and chucks, which we have a lot of tooling for. As you can see, we've got our drill chuck in there at the moment. Now, when we bought this, it has 2 gearboxes, or 2 motors on 2 of the axes. This gearbox wasn't actually working, but now it is. And this one is working all except for the gear that it's currently in, which is 1A. So we need to work on that. And slightly frustrating is the only axis that it doesn't have a motor for is the up and down, which means if you want to use it as kind of a large drill press, like we usually do, or sometimes do, using the drill chuck, you have to raise the entire bed up rather than making an adjustment to just the head. Now when Dad bought this, the coolant system was all plumbed strangely and didn't work. But if you've watched my Bolens HT snowplow replica project, you will have seen that part way through we actually fixed that up and ended up using it for some of the machining. We also have a number of large workshop tools. That most of them used to live in the storeroom, but we brought them through here. Now we have our tool area, and our plan is for all of them to be on wheels and to kind of move and sit in between the fixed machine tools while we're not using them, and then when we are using them we kind of pull them out like one of those big camper vans that all the different parts come out. Anyway, first workshop tool here is the 30-ton hydraulic press, which we've used quite a lot in the past and we've made a couple of bending tools for. Then we have our Clark parts washer, which is pretty handy for cleaning up parts on these old tractors. However, I'm going to close that before the smell gets to us. Then we have our big grip blasting cabinet here, which we have on blocks at the moment, not on wheels, which we plan to put it on wheels in the future, but we put it on blocks so that if we use it before we put it on wheels, we kind of have a simulation of what it'll be like with wheels on, the height-wise. And for me, that still works, and Dad is taller than me, so it works for him as well. We also have this Clark Metalworker bandsaw, which isn't the most accurate of things, but can be quite useful, especially since there's a table that bolts on here with these 2 bolts, and then you can use it as a kind of standing bandsaw. And we also have our tyre changer here, which this has saved us quite a lot of money and time over the years. And we've featured it on the YouTube channel before. And the reason it saved us money is because instead of having to go out to a tyre shop to get them to change over a tyre or a tube in a tractor tyre, we can do it ourselves, cutting out the whole labour cost from another business. And because this is on wheels, you can't really use it on wheels. We've got some floor anchors in a convenient space on the other side of the workshop. And whenever we want to use this, we go over there, take the wheels off, then use these bolts to hold it down on the floor anchors, and then that just works. And it sounds like a lot when I say it like that, but it doesn't actually take that long to do. Then we have our floor standing Clark Metal Worker drill press, which is not the best. The table setup isn't the best either, and there's a bit of run out on the chuck when it's working, but it is improved by this like cheap XY vise that we managed to get. But as we said before, it's not the most accurate of things, and for anything larger or more accurate, we prefer to either use the drill chuck on the Cincinnati mill or in the tailstock of the Colchester lathe. Back to machine tools now, and we have this Alba Shaper, which you haven't seen on the videos before, and we haven't actually used since Dad bought it. So now that we have a permanent home for it, we're looking forward to using it. Not fully sure of the age, but obviously it is going to be quite an old machine. Now on to two of our more recently acquired tools. We have this power hacksaw here, which we don't really know much about other than the fact that it appears to be made by a company called Rapidor in Manchester. Which, this is run on 3-phase electricity like all of our other machine tools, which when we come to use something like this, we would run it onto our digital phase converter that we have, which we want to actually run a cable round from. There is the phase converter. We want to run a cable from it round the workshop to here so that we can power all of the machines on this side, and yeah, not have to run a plug all the way over there. But then the second machine is this Herbert Grinder, which we believe to also be a British machine. Not fully sure what we're going to use this for yet, but I'm sure it could come in handy for some sort of grinding job. And now for probably the most exciting addition to our machine tools, we have this Centek 2B mill, which it's a bit smaller than our other mill, but still of good size. And Centek, from what we've found on the internet, which believe me is not much, Centek is a British company, so another machine made here in ye olde England. Now, obviously it has this for the table, but then the other table function doesn't actually work unless you use this. This is all purely observation that I've made, since we can't really find much about it. Then you go back, you do that to go back to this. And then our frustration with our other mill is kind of sorted with this mill, because you can use this knob here to move the chuck down if you want to do any drilling. But you can either use this for more preciseness, which with this lever here, this doesn't move. Whereas if you undo this a bit, then you can use this for more of a quicker movement. But that isn't the most exciting part about this mill though. Now, before we get to that, I thought I'd just say, from our information that we've found, most Centeks use a Morse Taper 2 adapter in there. However, this one uses INT 30, and there's a vertical outlet, and this is a horizontal outlet. Now on to the exciting bit, which we believe to be a range of optional extras for the Centek mill. Firstly, there is this riser block, which is useful for and makes it more versatile for us. Then there's what we believe to be a Centek mill vise. And then we're not sure if the motor drive was actually a added extra or not, but it's always helpful. Then we get to the very interesting stuff, which is this, which is a horizontal mill attachment. So to use this, you'd take off the head here, and then you'd take off the riser block using the dovetails. Then onto this slot here, where you'd just taken them off, you'd slide about half of this. Then you'd slide this on the other end there, where the INT30 adapter on the other end would go into the horizontal drive like that. Then you could put slotting tools, etc. on there. Then the other attachment, we're not fully sure what it is, but it is this. We've guessed that this might be a vertical shaper, which if it is, we're pretty sure that there might be a couple of pieces missing from it, but if you have any information on this, it would be very nice to know, because the interweb didn't really tell us anything useful about it. Now, we're very keen to use these new machines, however we're going to be quite careful, and we're going to get them electrically tested, since we believe that they haven't been used in over 20 years, and we don't want to be breaking anything before we've even started using it. And before we get them electrically tested, we'll be changing over the wire, because this is rubber wire, which was a thing for English machines back in the day, and you can see the insulation's just completely perished. So we'll do that before we get them electrical tested. Now, to end this video, we thought we'd show you what all of the machines look like packed away. You can see the tyre changer just kind of slots in there, and press fits nicely between the mill and the grinder. And then again, the two saws fit in there perfectly. It's almost as if someone's planned it out. But I'm sure we'll end up refining our plan and where all the machinery is after we've used it a bit. We would be very interested in hearing your views on our tools and the layout that we have here on this end of the workshop, which you can leave your views in the comment section down below, and we always respond to comments. But that's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Please subscribe to my channel, like this video and see our other videos. More to follow as we do more on this tractor. Bye!